Hi everyone, Adriana Noriega here with Jose Benavidez Sr. Jose, great to talk to you. You have your rising future champion in Diego Pacheco fighting this weekend. I was talking to him just a few moments ago, saying I remember when he made his pro debut, and now he's just getting closer and closer to a world title shot to fight champions. What do you see in this young man?
First of all, I want to thank God, for all those blessings and for me being here with you. It's an honor. And having these fighters, man, from not knowing anything about boxing, I dedicated and devoted myself and sacrificed so many things to be here. Thank God it was worth every second, every day of it. And now, I have David Benavidez, Jose Benavidez Jr., Diego Pacheco, Daniel Blancas, Julio Porras. These guys are upcoming fighters. Diego is ranked number 4 in different organizations, and Daniel Blancas is like ranked number 12, somewhere around there. So little by little, you're going to see all these fighters coming up. Julio Porras is like number 1 in Mexico, number 2, somewhere around there. So I'm blessed, man, and super excited for the Saturday. And another big fight for Diego Pacheco. I want to fight the good fighters now. I think he's ready, but we got to prove ourselves on Saturday and see how he looks. But, he should have no problem beating this guy. He's a dangerous fighter, but I think he's more talented. And if he really wants to fight the good guys at 168, now that David's going to 175, I think that's a position that's going to stay open for all these young fighters. Canelo might fight 1 or 2 fights or maybe 3, and I think there's a big opportunity for him now to catch one of those titles and hopefully fight for all those titles, But the fight that we really won, if his manager of Berlanga is watching us, that's the fight that we've been trying to get for months now, years, now that I think that would be a great fight, a Puerto Rican fighting a Mexican. Berlanga's a great guy, he has a name already too. I think that he needs Diego Pacheco. We need him also. Eddie Hearns is right here. He would love to make that fight happen. I would like to make it. Diego would like to make it. Now it's all about just Berlanga and his manager Keith. So.
Describe that fight between Pacheco and Berlanga. How do you visualize that?
It's a tough fight. It's a super tough fight. It's a big test for both of them. Berlanga's a great fighter. Very skilled. Pacheco has been improving and proving himself also. So I mean, I can't even tell you how excited and how motivated, but we're Team Benavidez and Team Pacheco are not afraid to lose their undefeated records. You've seen us. We'll fight anybody at the end of the day. We got to prove ourselves. We've never been protected or nothing like that. We got to keep fighting these guys in order to climb to the rankings and fight for a world title. I believe that Diego needs a name like that in order to prove himself. Berlanga needs a name like Diego Pacheco in order to make that happen, So we're all right there. We're all right there. So that would be a tough fight. My respects. I'm not talking shit about them, great fight, but I think that's a fight that fans will love. Puerto Rico against Mexico.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully Diego Pacheco makes a statement this weekend, and then he can move forward and get a fight like with Berlanga or just bigger names.
And that's the thing. We have to make a statement. He has to look good. He has to look impressive in order to get to those bigger fights. If not, we got to continue proving ourselves and keep fighting the fighters that we're fighting. But I think he's ready. He's ready. We're going to show, improve ourselves on Saturday. We belong in that level of opponents right there with the elite fighters. And, once Canelo leaves, it's going to be a big window right there and a lot of opportunities for all these young fighters.
Yeah. Well, speaking of big fights and elite fighters and Canelo, what's going on? The world keeps waiting for Canelo Benavidez and... Well, we got Canelo Munguia now, but I see your side.
This is tiring, man. It becomes annoying and it becomes boring talking about Canelo. That fight is not going to happen. That fight, Canelo does not want to face the Mexican monster. He does not want to face David Benavidez. He says that he has nothing to bring to the table. He's been mandatory for 3 years. He's been the interim champion, mandatory. They said they were going to strip him on March. I don't know what happened there. Now they said maybe November. We got to continue proving ourselves. We would love that fight to happen. But at the end of the day, we all know that Canelo runs everything right now. And we know that. And you know what? He's in a great position. I'm not going to talk bad about Canelo. He's done so much in boxing that it would be hard for someone else to do what he's done in boxing, and Eddie Reynoso too. Both of them have done big things that it would be super hard for any fighter to achieve. But now he just does whatever he wants. He chooses whoever he wants, and at the end of the day, he says that David doesn't bring anything to the table. He only brings 25 pounds to the fight. I don't know how many pounds is he going to bring. He probably bring the same. Those are just excuses. He wants $200 million to fight David Benavidez, and he'll fight him tomorrow. What does that tell you? I'm not going to bring those eggs no more. Like they say in Mexico, huevos, because I know all the fighters, they got huevos, But, I just want to, rephrase that. And me as a Mexican, that's the way I talk,
Yeah.
Huevos is huevos, But I think he does have them, But at the end of the day, I don't think he wants to face David. I don't think that fight is going to happen. That's why we're going to go to 175 and try to prove ourselves and fight a dangerous fighter as Alexander Boslik, fight for the interim WBC title at 175. I think that fight will be easier to make. The winner of Be Bold and Bet Beer. Those are dangerous fighters at 175. I would love to fight Be Bold because he beat Canelo. Mm-hmm. He beat Sudo Ramirez. So that would be the third Mexican in there, and that would bring a lot of excitement, It's a great fight for Be Bold if he beats David Benavidez. Now he'll be known.
Yeah.
Because he beat Canelo. Nobody even remembers that, So I think that's a dangerous fight for us. But either fighter, I think Bet the Beer hits really hard. And we'll have to box him a little bit, because if you stay in front of him, I think he has a lot of power, and he's shown his power. But those two fights are super dangerous. But right now we're focused on Alexander. We can overpass him. He was a world champion, an Olympian. He's training his ass off like never before because he has another big opportunity there. If he beats David Benavidez, he'll become a superstar overnight. Probably he'll get the fight with Canelo and all the other ones. So I think we're focused on him. We're training super hard. David's super motivated. We're training in Miami at the Boxer gym, and we're training like never before in order to look spectacular on June.
I do want to touch more on that fight against Vostik and David moving to Miami to train. But let me just go back real quick with Canelo saying that David has been not respectful. That he gave the fight to Munguia because he's been respectful and David's been the opposite.
Come on, all the excuses that we've been hearing, since the beginning, David hasn't fought anybody. I think he should fight Caleb Plant. I'll fight the winner of that. Or Boo Boo. I fight the winner of that. And, now I think he's against the wall. He knows that David could beat him. And he could retire him, At the end of the day, Canelo has done so much. He started boxing since he was like 16, professional. He's put so many miles on his body, and that's where you get the wear and tear, when you get ready for those fights. He has a lot of big fights, and I think his mind wants to go, but his body is not responding. We've seen that, the downfall of Canelo, on his.
That?
Yeah, I see, and we all saw that, on all his past fights. He's not the same. Mm-hmm. Before that, he was breaking jaws, breaking arms, breaking everything, What happened to all that power? So now, like I said, he's done a lot for the sport of boxing, and he's proven himself, and he knows that David's a tough fight, and he doesn't want to fight him. And now he has those ridiculous kinds of money. When you do that, what does that tell you? If you give me, 10 million, I will get in there with him, But does it make sense? I mean, it's a good payday, So now he's looking for the payday. Everything turns around, Who's the one that wants the payday? There was offers, with his team, that they said they wanted to make that fight with David before the Munguia fight. They didn't know who were they going to fight, and they said, okay, we're going to make that fight, but we're just going to give you the minimum. Don't ask for anything else and whatever. I said, yes, no problem. Let's make it happen. You take all the money. You deserve it. We just want the opportunity. And, we were going to make more money. We were negotiating with Munguia. We were going to make more money with Munguia than fighting Canelo. But at the end of the day, the opportunity, the opportunity to make history and fight the best. I think Canelo's the best, pound for pound, the best at 168. He's the king. He has all the belts. Yeah. So guess what? In order for us to be the best, we got to beat the best. That's why we want to fight the best, And he doesn't want to face David. He's been mandatory, like I said. And if he's not scared, what is it then? If you ask for $200 million.
Well, now Canelo's facing Munguia. How much of an opportunity do you give Munguia? Can he give him some trouble, or what do you expect in that fight?
I think so. Like I said, Canelo, has had a lot of wars and, has all the experience. But like I said, the body's not the same. Munguia is young. He's been hit a lot, and he comes back. And I think he hits hard. He's young. He's hungry. He's going to get ready like never before in his life, nutrition, strength and condition, training, boxing, and all that. So it's a big opportunity for Jaime Munguia, to shine, and everybody has a chance. But I hope, that Canelo, I mean, with all the experience that he has, and, I think Canelo also is motivated, he can't let Munguia beat him, because if he gets beat by Munguia, then Benavidez is not there. The $200 million is not there, and if he can beat Munguia, look spectacular, maybe he can get that $200 million, and that would be a big payday for him. So I think and people are talking about that money. So I think somebody's going to come up with that money, because at the end of the day, I think they can make that will be the biggest fight that it could be made. And I think they can raise that money. And I mean, the pay-per-views are going to be expensive, but I think everybody's going to want to see that, So, but he has to beat Munguia. But I think Munguia has a great chance to beat him. And
What's your prediction for Munguia?
well, I think, to be honest with you, I'm going to go with Canelo. I think Canelo has experience, and Munguia this is his second fight at 168, he hasn't fought nobody at 168, so we don't know how he's going to feel. And Canelo has been there for a while, so I think Canelo's going to beat him. And even though if Munguia does well, I don't think they're going to give it to him. So I mean, he has to
Canelo win by decision?
Has to stop. I think Canelo by decision, or maybe a stoppage. But I will have to go by decision. But Munguia has to knock out Canelo in order to win.
Right. Okay.
In my opinion, I don't think he has a chance. Because at the end of the day, everybody's thinking about the $100,000 million. So he will have to knock him out. I don't think it could be a very close fight.
Well, you mentioned a few moments ago about Munguia, how he must be getting ready, preparing, training like never before. Speaking of training, we saw that David and you guys are now training in Miami. Talk to me about how that's been different. Why the change?
We always fought. We always had camps all over the place. Big Bear, California, Las Vegas, San Diego, pretty much everywhere. We decided to have two camps in Seattle because it was new. So now I'm happy that he decided to train in Miami. He's super motivated, super happy, and it's great. A different atmosphere, that helps a lot. And I'm excited to go there too. I go there on Sunday after Diego's fight, so it motivates me too. It's like, wow, I can't believe all this. It's happening to me. With my sons and Junior and David and Rayo, Diego, Julio, Daniel Blancas. Everybody, man. It's amazing, and we're going to take advantage of every day and keep training hard and getting up in the morning, and because we're thinking about those 200,000 that Canelo's going to get paid, so we have to stay focused in order to hopefully if that comes available, whatever, but right now we're super focused, like I said, on Alexander, also we have to look at spectacular, and we're trying to do the best that we can to stay disciplined, work hard, and on June we should be 100% ready to go.
Well, this fight's at a higher weight, right? 175. How is that gonna better? Is that gonna make even?
Everybody asks me, it's going to be better, this and that. We've never been at 175.
The power should carry through more.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. We have to find out and see how David feels. He doesn't have to. When people say they make 100 and whatever their weight is easy, I don't think so. Everybody struggles a little bit. Everybody struggles for that pound. It doesn't matter where you're at. But everything has to be with discipline, nutrition, and all that. Anything could happen. But if you're not really strict on that, you could definitely. David has no problem. His last 4 fights have been under 167, 166. Didn't have a problem after the pandemic. That's the only time that he couldn't do weight because of that. But I'm glad that everything that he went through got him mature. He's more disciplined and he's hungrier. If that didn't happen, I don't know where we'd be at this point, because all that has he has used, it was a blessing in disguise because I see him super motivated and he's a different person. So everything that happened got more into his head, and he got more discipline, and I see that, and man, it makes me super happy. We gotta see. We've never been at 175. We're gonna see if that power is there, and we're gonna see what's there at 175, and see how we feel. And once we go there, I'm gonna answer all those questions.
But this is a great opportunity. I understand that Benavidez and Canelo is like, it's at that dream mega fight that we're waiting. But fighting at 175, and then let's say he beats Bostic, and then he fights the winner between Beterbiev and Bivol, fighting for an undisputed champion at 175. Like, that's amazing.
Things are just getting better and better and better. It's so funny how the world turns, and so many opportunities. When you see that, everything's kind of dark, and what do? And then a window opens, and then all the light comes in, So imagine fighting at 175, get the opportunity to fight Bivol or Beterbiev, whoever, and then coming back and fight at 168, or see what happens with the organizations, and see what happens with Munguia, come down and fight for a title or whatever, or all the titles, whatever, and then go up to 175. I think we're right there. So I think we have a really good opportunity, being mandatory 168 and 175.
In that 175 between Beterbiev and Bivol, who do you think, who are you expecting to come out on top?
Like I say, I think by points I will go with Bivol. With Beterbiev, I will go by knockout. But at the end of the day, I would like to fight Bivol because of the history, who he has fought. He fought Canelo, he fought Zurdo. If we can beat the guy that beat the guy, we'll become the guy, So that would be, maybe Canelo will get 300,000 million for that, So that would be more exciting, So I would like that. That's the reason I would like to fight him, and I would like him to win because of that. But Beterbiev, it's also a great fighter, a great puncher, a lot of power, and either or will be a good fight. But like I said, the other one is just because he beat two Mexicans. This will be the third Mexican.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a lot of things to look out for. I really appreciate your time, and good luck with Diego this weekend, and of course also David Benavidez against Bostic. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.